right? A second thing I wanted to mention that's related is that in June there was a memo that was sent out to immigration, and this June memo discussed the creation of a civil denaturalization task force. This is with the Department of Justice and with DHS, and this unit has expanded denaturalization efforts into civil court proceedings. Okay, so it was typically there was already a way to use criminal court proceedings, but the civil court proceedings in this situation doesn't require a criminal conviction. It doesn't have a statute of limitations. This is the part that's very interesting, because previous administrations were using denaturalization. The most common would be within a 5-year period of the person's citizenship, that they could more easily receive, they could be put into denaturalization proceedings. Obviously, it was always the case that someone who had committed fraud could be denatsed even after that, but it was more rare, right? So, but what Trump did, and this is the second time he's used this denaturalization task force, is now he's expanding it, okay? And now he's saying that you don't need a criminal conviction. We don't have any statute of limitations for certain types of cases, okay? He's saying fraud-related cases, and then he's also saying misrepresentations in the immigration process, okay? Now, this is interesting because that's very broad, and it could be interpreted different ways, right? But it could be fraud, false testimony, or willful misrepresentation of material facts. Okay, and what has also been suggested in this June memo is that even underreporting of taxes could count as grounds for denaturalization. Okay, and this is interesting because previously this has not been gone after. We do know that the Trump administration took great efforts to get data from immigrants' tax records, right? And then he even got rid of the last head of the IRS, because they were not willing to go any further to basically violate privacy laws to give up more information on immigrants' tax records, which were protected, right? So the new person who is in charge of the IRS apparently is giving up more evidence, more information to ICE and to the government, right? And so what we're going to find out is how this will play out. Now, there are 24 million naturalized citizens in the United States, and I do not think that everyone has rise to panic to think, oh, well, now I'm going to lose my citizenship. Now, they cannot go after every single person, right, who is a citizen now. They don't have the time and the resources to do that. So who will they be focusing on? We don't know exactly. I would say that it would be criminal cases first, but it's not clear, because studies have shown that there's 16 to 20% of taxpayers either make errors or underreport income. That's citizens included, right? And so this new interpretation of the law could expose other citizens who otherwise were fine, were not committing crimes, right? They were playing by the rules. These people could have unintentionally unrepresented their income, underreported their income on their taxes, right? And if that did happen, they could get them, because there is a question on the citizenship application that says, basically, have you ever committed any crime? Let's see, it says, have you ever committed, assisted in committing, or attempted to commit a crime or offense for which you were not arrested? Okay, and this question has been there for years. It's it's a problem because it interferes with the Fifth Amendment, but in any event, it is there. And so they also have relevant questions. Have you ever failed to file required federal, state, or local income tax? Do you owe any overdue federal, state, or income tax, or local income tax? So those questions are also related to taxes, right? But what they would do is not find you on tax fraud or underreporting after you had received your citizenship. It would be before you got your citizenship, because at that interview you were supposed to tell the truth, right? And if you did supposedly underreport on a few of the years of taxes before you had that interview, and if the government did find that out, then potentially you could be placed in these civil denaturalization proceedings, And it's a little bit scary because there are a lot of people who maybe they just went with the tax advisor's advice, right? And it's not that they were intending to defraud the government, but even citizens can often make this mistake, right? So we're gonna see what happens with that.